Welcome back to Meehan's Asked and Answered. This is the final installment of episode 1, where we've been answering your questions about auditioning for the brass section of a drum corps. In this installment, we're going to finish off the remainder of the questions, we're going to have a little bit of fun, and we're going to hear from some members from the 2013 Blue Devils brass section on the main question of how do you afford to march drum corps. This next question comes to us from Taylor Champion. Now, Taylor's question is one that I get a lot when I speak to people about auditioning for or being a member of the Blue Devils. So let's get right to it. Taylor asks, I plan on auditioning for the 2014 Blue Devil mellophone section, but there are many conflicts regarding the rehearsals and the time I must be in school. I graduate May 20th, so I would be missing a fair amount of practices. Is there a way we can work around my school hours, and will I still be eligible for the corps? The short answer is yes, absolutely. Every year, we deal with all sorts of conflicts and scheduling things with members being part of the Blue Devils. It's just part of this whole activity. School is very important to the Blue Devils. So members that are accepted into the Blue Devils, they need to know that school comes first. Now, within that, you still need to be able to participate and be at enough rehearsals that we know you can do what is going to be asked of you come the summertime. So here's the basic kind of way it works. You audition for the corps. If we feel that you have the abilities and talents to be a member of the Blue Devils, we will offer you a spot. Once you accept that spot, we then talk to you about the schedule and your conflicts. We only rehearse one camp a month, January, February, and April. There is no March camp this year. Once May rolls around, we have weekends starting the second weekend of May, and we have all days starting the third week of May. Now, let's say your school doesn't get out until early June. What we ask is that you attend as many of the rehearsals throughout January through May as you can, and then once school is out in June, you immediately move here and you start participating in rehearsals every day. What is a conflict that we will allow you to miss a rehearsal for? It's anything that is directly school related. If you have a concert or a lab that is mandatory based on what the professor asks, or if you're in high school and you need to attend something, all those are going to be valid conflicts that will allow you to miss a rehearsal. If you have other conflicts like work or something that isn't directly school related, that's something that more than likely we will not accept as an excuse for missing a rehearsal. It's got to be something that's generally directly related to school. And if it is, we're definitely going to work with you on that. So if you can't commit to being a member of the Blue Devils full time until as late as like June 12th, or any time in between there, but you still want to be a member, know that it's totally possible and it happens every year. Obviously, we need people to be here as early as possible, and many schools do let out early May or even mid-May. And some people, at this point in their life, they may be taking a semester off of school, so they're able to attend rehearsals from the beginning. But to answer the question, don't worry about it. As long as you can commit to everything that is outside of a school conflict, you can definitely be a member of the Concord Blue Devils. Let's quickly hear from Blue Devils euphonium player Caleb Birdsong on the question, should I audition this year or should I wait till next year when I'm better?
I would say don't wait till next year. Seize your opportunity right now to audition. Who knows? You might already be good enough. A lot of people undersell themselves and don't audition because they don't think they'll be good enough. When in actuality, they probably are really good. You're probably better than you think. You know what I mean? And the audition experience can only help you. The staff's just going to make you better and give you good information on what to prepare for your audition next year if you don't happen to make it. I almost did an audition in 2010 because I was going to stick it out another year in open class because I thought I needed another year to get better. But my band director convinced me, why don't you just go audition right now? Like, why waste time? So, and I'm really glad I did because I had one of the best summers of my life. What should I work on until then? If you're not going to audition, if you do feel like you need that extra time to work some stuff out, I would just work on your fundamentals, like brass players, because I'm a brass player. I would just work on your lip slurs, your articulations, and really solid tone, like all your fundamentals, because the staff can build on those really solid fundamentals, and it makes everything down the road way easier. And when you get to that higher level difficulty stuff, they'll know you're really, really solid, and they know they can ask. They know what they can ask of you. So hope this helps. Hope you audition. Have a great day.
Before we get to our last question, let's just have a little bit of fun. One of these was a question that didn't pertain to auditioning for a drum corps, and the others were just statements about Meehan's asked and answered. Sylvie T says, "This is really cool. I'm sharing right away. Yahoo!" Thanks, Sylvie. Here's an international post, and this one comes from Agung Rustander. And Agung writes, "Please, Blue Devils, come to Indonesia." Well, know, Agung, that I'll go ahead and forward your request on to our administration. Obviously, I can't make any promises, but the Blue Devils do like to travel, and I'm sure if the opportunity arises, maybe we'll see you sometime soon in Indonesia. Until then, thank you so much for your support of the Blue Devils. This doozy comes from Eric Fleury. Eric says, "No question, just liking for liking's sake. Smiley face." Whew. Eric, you have no idea. This is nice. I'm just going to sit here and rest for a few minutes. Okay, cool. How about we get back to some questions? This next question comes from Logan Whelan. Logan marches in the Blue Devil C Corps. "Mr. Meehan, can you create me an epic mellow part for next year's show?" Mellow parts. Me. I think I can do that, Logan. I'll do my best. This next question comes to us from Daniel Garcia in Florida. So here's the question. How did you and other composers/arrangers get started in DCI? Well, speaking for myself, I marched in drum corps for 10 years. I was a member of the Blue Devil C Corps, then the Blue Devil B Corps, and eventually the Blue Devil A Corps. After that, I started teaching drum corps, and eventually I also got to start writing for a drum corps. So it was just a matter of me being in the activity. And I've been in the activity pretty much my whole life. My father and my mother were both in the activity, and my dad was actually instrumental in getting me my first teaching gig and then my first writing gig. And from there, I just took advantage of the opportunities that I had and made the most of them. So it's like everything in life. It's networking, it's being in the right place at the right time, and it's about taking advantage of the opportunities that you get when you finally get them. Now, Daniel also added that his band is playing my show, The Laws of Motion, this year. I hope you guys love that show as much as I do. I originally wrote that show for Upland High School down in Southern California, and that season they went to the Bands of America Grand Nationals and made semifinals. So I wish you guys the very best of luck, give my best to everybody, and I hope you have a great fall. Our last question comes from Ryan Ferris. Here's Ryan's question. How do you pay to be in drum corps? How do so many people afford to do such an expensive activity and still pay for a college education? This is the biggest thing standing in my way. Well, Ryan, and everyone else out there asking the same question, let's hear from 3 members of the 2013 Blue Devils Brass Section to get some information.
And just like Ryan, I'm a college student as well. However, I pull out financial aid loans to pay for my school. And as far as drum corps tuition, I've actually never paid to be in drum corps, only in the fact that I've written sponsor letters and sent those out to family and friends, businesses, and really anybody who'd be willing to donate to my experience in drum corps. And what the letter says basically is who I am, what drum corps is, who the Blue Devils are, and what we do for the whole summer. And on the backside of the letter is a chart that includes all costs associated with marching drum corps, from tuition to airfare, food, and even if you have to pay for your housing in all days, all of it's included. And also with the letter, I sent an envelope addressed to the Blue Devils organization. So when they get the letter, they see the letter, they read it, and if they wish to donate, they can put their donation in the envelope, put it in the mail, and it goes straight to the Blue Devils organization under my name for my tuition. And over the last 3 years, I've had all of my tuition covered, even some airfare, and I've had enough donations come in to roll into my tuition for next year. So I found it really, really successful way to pay for drum corps, and I think everybody should give it a shot, and I hope it works out for other people as it has for me.
So I kind of planned ahead a little bit. I went to community college for 2 years so that I can save a little bit of money that way for school. And then I also teach marching band in the fall. And that's kind of how I pay for drum corps. I just save the money that I accumulated over the fall. Other ways to do it, I had an instructor who marched 5 years of drum corps and never paid a single dime. He would send out sponsorship letters and to doctors, lawyers, big businesses, anything really, and they would sponsor him from anywhere from $20 to the full $2,000. If you take the tuition fee and you really divide it over those 3 months, it comes out to about $20 a day. And that's really interesting to know because you could be spending that $20 a day at home, really, from rent, food, utilities, uh, anything else. All those expenses at home, you're really just allocating that to your expenses on the road with the Blue Devils.
Drum corps is a lot of money. And when you're in school, especially when you're in school, it's really hard to figure out the best way to get the money. Being a college student and taking full-time worth of classes and working isn't easy. But when I needed to pay for drum corps, I worked a part-time job as often as I could to make some extra money. And then one of the best ways I found to get money was I would write a letter explaining what drum corps is and how it's going to benefit me, talking about the Blue Devils, talking about how many shows we do, where we're going to go, and I would take that letter and give it to current teachers that I have, past teachers, especially band directors or people that might know what drum corps is. It was actually really surprising. I got in contact with some of my teachers, even from as far back as elementary school, and they were willing to, chip in some money. And granted, I didn't get a full sponsorship from anybody, but with this kind of thing, really any amount of money you can get helps. Everything helps. Any little bit. But that was one of the best things. If you've marched before, it's neat to include pictures from marching, or you could even, if you were getting in touch with people via email, you could link like a brass warm up or a Blue Devils performance, just so they can see kind of what it is and how much you think that it'll benefit you. Yeah, but it is a tough thing, and especially balancing school and work isn't an easy thing to do, but it can be done. And as long as you communicate with the staff, they'll be willing to work with you.
And that wraps up the fourth and final installment of episode 1 of Meehan's Asked and Answered. Hopefully our answers to your questions help as you prepare your audition for a brass section of a 2014 drum corps. If that drum corps happens to be the Blue Devils, I look forward to seeing you at an audition this fall. Please stay tuned for episode 2 of Meehan's Asked and Answered in the coming months. Be sure to like my page on Facebook, John Meehan, composer, arranger, and clinician. Until then, have a great end to the marching band season, have fun preparing your audition, and we'll talk soon.